Hello guys, in this video we will discuss about plastic analysis of steel structure. So starting with the introduction part, basically elastic analysis is divided into two parts, statically determinate and statically indeterminate. अगर आपने एनालिसिस किया होगा बीम का, तो किसी भी बीम को अननोन फोर्सेस फाइंड आउट करने के लिए हमारे पास में तीन कंडीशंस होती है. So by using all three conditions we can find out, we can solve the beam, like all the horizontal force equal to 0, all the vertical force equal to 0, and the moment acting on the beam is equal to 0. So if the unknown forces are greater than the static equilibrium condition, like जो हमने डिस्कस किया था, all the horizontal forces, all the vertical forces and some of the moment. So if the unknown forces are greater than the all static equilibrium condition, then it is known as statically indeterminate beam. And if we are able to find out all the unknown forces by using all three conditions, like sum of horizontal, sum of vertical and sum of moment, then it is called as statically determinate structure or statically determinate beam. So based on the following assumption, stresses in the material is less than elastic limit. So always we consider that stresses in the material is less than elastic limit and deflections are small. So when we design any kind of beam, always we must have to kept in our mind that deflections we have to consider, but in a small extent. Plastic analysis, this analysis is based on finding the collapse load of the structure. Generally we do design of RCC structure, steel structure, and also plastic design. We also considering if the structure is very large, like if we are going to design dam, if we are going to design flyover, so we have to consider also plastic analysis. So in plastic analysis we are assuming the structure to behave like plastic structure. So there is some elastic limit, there is some plastic limit, and there is some fracture limit. So all the criteria we have to consider. In this module, we will develop the principles of plastic theory which are widely used in the analysis and design of steel structure. So generally we considering that if we are going for flexible structure, or if we are going to provide flexibility in the structure, it is mainly provided in steel structure as compared to RCC structure, because RCC structure is very rigid as compared to steel structure. So we always go for the steel structure when we require the deflection limit is very high. So this is the fundamental concept of plastic behavior. If you go through the stress strain graph of mild steel, then this is the simple condition. If we start applying stresses on any body, initially the stresses is proportional to strain, because when we apply stress, simultaneously the strain will go up with the same value of applying stresses. So that is up to a certain limit, and within the elastic limit stress is proportional to strain. That is called Hooke's limit, Hooke's law. And next, if the material exceed elastic limit, it undergo into the plastic limit. So in the plastic limit the slope is generally considered equal to 0, because when we apply load on the body, it extend outerward direction, and in plastic limit basically if we release the load, it will not get into its original shape. So after the plastic condition, there is a large deflections in strain. So when we apply stresses, the strain will increases. When we apply small magnitude of stress, then the strain increases to a I think 2 times or 3 times or more than that, is depend upon the material on which we are doing a study. So at the last point, when the load is maximum, ultimate, that is called ultimate load, on that point the structure will fail, it will break. So that is the condition of failure. So you can see in the graph the maximum peak of the graph, that is strain value is 0.2 for mild steel. Basically it is called ultimate stress, or it may called ultimate load. Then collapse of the structure. We have studied that 2 types of column are there, slender column and short column. Slender column are generally fail due to buckling of structure, due to buckling load, and the short column are generally fail due to structural failure behavior. So any structure can be made to collapse by applying a load of sufficient magnitude. That means before design of the structure, we always calculate that the upcoming load expected to come in the future. Let's say we are going to design a structure and we are calculating the load amount, that is 100 kilonewton. Then we have to design according to 100, but in limit state method design we are generally going for 1.5 times of the load. Like if the structure having the load of 100 kilonewton, then we are going to use factor of safety 1.5, then load will exceed 150 kilonewton. Now we are going to design according to 150 kilonewton as compared to 100. Now we are safe to the 50%, we can say that we are safe of 50%. Structure may collapse by one or more combination of elastic buckling and plastic collapse. That is also the same thing. Structure can be fail because of elastic buckling, and buckling generally occur in long column as compared to short column. The plastic behavior of beams. You can see in the figure 1, it is kind of simply supported beam, but the support are applied are the hinge, and the point load is applying at the center. So we can look at the bending moment diagram. So maximum deflection is acting on the center, maximum deflection occurred on the center point. And if we can see the cross section at the bottom, the strain will occur at 2 points, like compression and tension, because we all know that any kind of structure, if we talk about beam, if we talk about column, there is 2 segment, and the segment is divided by neutral axis. So if we talk about the upper portion of the neutral axis, that is called generally compression, and if we talk about the bottom part of the neutral axis, that is called tension. So the reinforcement are provided at the tension zone mainly, and if required, the amount of reinforcement is required more than 4%, or it may be not more than 4%, it is around the 1% to the 4%. Then we have to put the tensile reinforcement in compression zone also, otherwise there is no need. So you can see the last diagram, the stress in compression and stress in tension. Stress in compression is equal to elastic modulus, that is E, that is also known as Young's modulus. Now we discuss about partially plastic structure. So you can see that there is no much difference between the fully plastic or partially plastic. So the main difference is in strain diagram. You can see the broadness of the strain that is epsilon y is larger in the as compared to the previous condition. Yes, if we talk about the stress, I think if neglect the bottom portion of the diagram, upper portion is the totally same as compared to the previous. But if we talk about the straight line that we are getting at the bottom, so all the forces are, all the stresses are acting on the similar point with the similar magnitude with the same direction. So the condition is now the same at the bottom, the uniform condition we can say. If we talk about fully plasticity, at this stage the section has reached its full moment capacity and there is no more stress capacity available to develop any additional moment of resistance within the section. So this is the maximum capacity, and full plasticity, after the limit of full plasticity there may be the reason of the failure, cause of the failure, structure may get collapse. So this is all about what do you think will happen to the beam. The beam will collapse, the simple. There is a fracture condition, breaking condition. So I hope you like this video. Thank you.